So, in lesson one, you built the foundation of your business by clarifying what you're offering and who it's for. That's the foundation, that's the seed. But before we can start building that, we need to excavate the ground that you're trying to grow things in. And that ground is your identity, it's your confidence, it's your self worth. And we need to make sure that it's solid and that it has the capacity to support everything that we're going to try to build on top of it. Because if you have a bunch of holes in your self confidence, it's like a mesh of gopher holes down there, and you can't build on that. So, we're going to learn how to seal those holes, and I'm going to teach you a neurological method to do this. The reprogramming tool that I teach stems from cognitive behavioral therapy and emotional regulation, and it's very powerful. And if you do it consistently, it will start to reprogram your nervous system and create a more stable mental environment for you to make more stable, smart, and sometimes even difficult decisions that are in your best interest. It's going to help you de-escalate the fears and the negativity and the reactivity that's been holding you back. So this is a writing practice, and it takes about 30 minutes, but you can adjust that time frame to your needs, and there are 3 steps. So first, you want to write down all of your fears and resentments and angers. And it doesn't have to be legible or perfect. You just want to get them out of your mind and onto paper and away from yourself. So the physical act of writing them down, what that does is it helps you see them objectively and as something separate from you. And it gives you an opportunity to question their validity. And the language is really important here. There's a specific way that you want to do this writing exercise. And you're going to write down, first, I'm afraid that, fill in the blank, whatever the fear is, because I'm afraid that whatever belief is behind that fear. So, for example, I'm afraid that my business will never be successful because I've never achieved anything like this before, and I don't know if I can trust myself to stick with it. So the fear is that your business isn't going to be successful, but what's behind that is you don't trust yourself, or you've never done it before and you're afraid of the unknown. You see how that works? So what you're doing during this exercise is naming the beliefs behind all the fears, and that creates some space between you and that fear, and it lets you examine it. This is the act of addressing the fear and unpacking what's behind it. So just asking yourself, why do you have this fear, and is it really valid? And if you're struggling to understand like the why behind them, just the act of writing them down will help you set them down. So in the second step, you're going to reread those fears one by one and reframe them. And instead of saying, I'm afraid that I'll never launch my business, or, I'm afraid that it's too big of a goal, I'm afraid that I'm not smart enough, you want to change that language and reframe it to how can I make sure that I launch my business? How could I get some support? How could I make sure that I achieve this big goal? How could I break it down? How could I get some help? What actions could I take? By turning it into a how statement, it shifts your brain into an action mode. It shifts your brain into like, okay, let's figure this out. What are some steps I could take? Instead of just like this state of fear and paranoia. In the third step, you just want to meditate. When you're writing down a bunch of fears and trying to unpack them and understand them, that's like pretty exhausting, and your brain needs some time to rest. So after all those mental gymnastics, maybe 10 minutes of either simply meditating, or if that's hard for you, just repeating a calming word or phrase. Like, I love easy, like easy, 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 easy for like a solid 5 to 10 minutes really settles me. So that's the exercise. And I think that you are going to get a lot out of this. This is something that's been used in 12-step programs in the artist way. It's been used internationally, super powerful. And you can literally do it anywhere at any time. I'll see you in the next lesson.